Is it not appropriate that Biden got endorsed by a rock, given how many his supporters have thrown this summer?
Yeah, I think that it was stunning. I read it and I thought, holy smokes. I mean, Joe Biden, endorsed by The Rock, and that The Rock has had as much movement, a rock would have as much movement as Joe Biden has had this summer.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because before we went to break, I was just yelling about the same thing. Biden called a lid at 10 o'clock this morning. Like, he's not campaigning. Like, if we were being honest, Congressman, since this campaign started, there have been more Elvis sightings than Biden sightings around the country, no?
Absolutely right. In fact, Elvis may have left the building, but Biden never has.
I see what you did there, man. That's right. If we were going to keep tagging this, you're right. Like, you know how they say, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Biden probably does, because he's always home. Can we do the...
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, if you want to keep doing it, I will. But at some point, I got to do the adult stuff. How are you, though? Everything's good?
Well, everything is good in my life, but except for we're just watching some pretty amazing stuff happening right now, Jimmy,
yes.
in the country. And every time I think 2020 can't get odder, it manages to top itself. It's just been an amazing year.
Yes, it has been one episode of Hold My Beer after another, as far as like societal chaos, right? Every time we think we've got it, you're right. So many things I wanted to ask you about. Let me ask you about this one first and foremost. I know you like the Amy Coney Barrett pick, and you want them to speed up the process. Here's my question to you. Is there any chance the Democrats recognize the political liabilities maybe of trying to ruin this woman this close to the election and back off? Do you think there's any chance they would actually do that, or no?
Well, let's admit that some of them are already recognizing that there's a tremendous backlash. I mean, look at the three attacks they made on Amy Coney Barrett, not for her legal qualifications, not for her impeccable character, but you actually had a member of Congress last week in Judiciary Committee hearing. The sum of what he was saying is President Trump has simply appointed too many Catholics to federal judgeships. That kind of bigotry is not welcomed in this country. It is Americans of all stripes, left, right, middle, vacillating, not knowing, fluid, political fluid, whatever. They don't like that kind of bigotry. They don't. It just doesn't work. And so they then moved into the dude asking questions about her adoption of Haitian kids. Can you imagine anything more despicable than that? What a lowlife. And so then they move to, those aren't working, so then they just go to Bill Maher saying she's a blankety nut. So that's their message.
I didn't know Bill Maher did that. That's terrible. Good gosh.
Yeah. I mean, you move from the gutter into outer darkness with that one. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're desperate, man. I mean, that's why they're not going, to the legality of doing this or to her record, because part of the problem with her record is when she was confirmed to the Seventh Circuit, she did so by a double-digit majority, meaning this, the Senate was by and large okay with her.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pull that about face now, but some of them will try it. I mean, to the point of Bill Maher, though, because I didn't see those comments. I mean, I'm not surprised by them because he is who he is. But people sleep on him, Congressman. But I do believe him and Morning Joe are the two highest streaming shows in Guantanamo Bay. I think that's what they show the inmates to get confessions out of them now. They're like, we'll do another Trump joke.
Yeah, pull the plug, please. I'll confess to anything.
Tell you anything you want to know. Congressman Andy Biggs is on the line. One of the things I know that's been on your mind is the lockdown thing. It sounds like the CDC, I saw one of your tweets the other day, they had revised the data on the coronavirus deaths, and it looks like there's really an infinitesimal, death rate for those below the age of 70. Are you utilizing this as grounds to open the whole country now? I know you've been pretty outspoken about that.
Yeah, absolutely we are. And it just, the data and the revisions of the data, the inconsistencies in the various policies. And then I think Redfield, head of the CDC, just kind of is nutty. I mean, he accused Scott Atlas this weekend of, and he didn't mean to do this. It was picked up. He happened to be ranting and raving on the phone, and somebody on the plane heard him. But he was saying everything Scott Atlas says is wrong. I mean, who better to know when everything is wrong than the guy who's gotten everything wrong about this, Scott Redfield and Dr. Fauci. So yeah, we should be looking to open this thing up because so many people are hurting. We're not even talking about the secondary public health crisis that these guys have caused with their faulty policies. We're not talking about the lost jobs, the suicides, the depression and anxiety in this country that's out there because of the policies these folks have foisted upon this country without any accountability.
Yeah, that's the part that's frustrating. And I mean, here in New York especially, you see these higher rates of depression and alcoholism, and most of those surveys were taken before the Jets started playing. It's only only going up.
Yeah, Jim, you were talking about if somebody cared about the Jets. Come on, man.
The Jets. Oh, the Jets. If they were an airline, they would be Spirit Air, is all I'll say about the Jets. It's a mess.
Man.
I fly Spirit
I'm thinking
once
of
in a
old
while.
Brand Affair. Don't you remember old Brand Affair? Come on, man.
Come on. Old Brand Affair.
I'm giving you my Joe Biden impersonation there. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Hey, man, impersonations are the only way you can get Joe Biden's sound these days. He's just, we were talking about this earlier. Like, is he showing up tomorrow night, or is it going to be, I had read a funny Babylon Bee about how, Biden's going to, he's forced to wear an outfit tomorrow night that conceals his face. Do you think they're sending a stunt double? What do you think's going on?
Could be. He's going to wear a mask. He's going to wear a mask, and then there's going to be he'll have a baseball cap on and some sunglasses. That's what's going to happen.
Wow. For some reason, Biden sounds a lot like Hillary Clinton under that hat. I don't know what's going on there.
I've never seen Joe Biden in such a fetching pantsuit before.
That's too funny. Oh man, Congressman Biggs on the line. If you're just joining us, we're talking all things 2020. As far as these Trump taxes that came out, the big bombshell report everybody's all excited about. My general takeaway so far is that the Democrats just drummed up a lot of business for Trump's tax lawyers. What's your takeaway?
I'm looking at it and I'm saying, Trump says it's all fake news, so it probably is. You know what? I'm totally uninterested in it. I am totally uninterested. The last time President Trump dribbled out, if you remember, they were saying, oh, yeah, he's really bankrupt. He's really bankrupt. Then he turns out that the one tax report was, he made over $400 million in that year.
Yes.
Well, last I heard, I'd like to be bankrupt like that. I can just tell you that. This is incredible.
Well, what I think is so shameless about it is that the whole point of his taxes was that they swore they were going to show us Russian collusion. There were going to be some previously undisclosed relationships in Russia that explained the whole Mueller probe that went nowhere. And now that there is nothing there, they've just pivoted to, he wrote down his taxes. But, I don't know any wealthy person that isn't doing that. I mean, that's why they're paying tax lawyers, no?
That's exactly right. And it isn't even the super wealthy. It's You've got people in the middle class. They're going to CPAs. They're going to tax preparation firms. And what do they say? I'd like to pay as few taxes as possible under the law and be legal. Well, guess what? That's what everybody does. And that's why, just a little kick here, that's why we shouldn't be doing an income tax or a graduated income tax. We should be doing a consumption tax because that way everybody's paying when they consume something, and that's the fairest type of tax there is.
That is something I'm a big proponent of. Is that it's basically similar to like a VAT tax in Europe in the sense that you're just getting taxed a little something extra on what you buy, correct?
Well, it kind of is like a VAT, but just think of it as a sales tax because you go into the store, you buy, I don't know what you buy, Jimmy. Let's say you're buying an ATV, because that's kind of the thing I would expect to see you on. And, you're going to pay a tax, whatever that sales tax is. But you're not going to pay income taxes because everybody's trying to dodge the income tax, but you're going to pay the sales tax, and you're going to have far more compliance.
Yeah, well, no, to the point of my consumption, most of the things I'm paying for are cash on the street, and they begin with conversations. You shop in places.
$5 Rolex with 2 L's.
Yeah, well, hey, don't sleep on it, though. The time's always accurate, that $5 Rolex. I don't want to hear it. It gets it right. But, yeah, is anyone surprised that people don't want to give money to an organization that's $27 trillion in debt? They're not good with our money, No. That's my other issue.
I mean, so every time, look, if you were to put something out and say, do you want to pay a little bit extra in taxes to the federal government? You're going to get, outside of Cal Berkeley, the Berkeley folks, nobody's going to volunteer to pay extra money to the federal government.
No, it's not happening. That's why I think this is a story that is 48 hours relevant on for the people who can't get through a day without something new to hate about the president. But if you're actually an adult trying to function outside of this impeachment fan fiction club that they belong to, I don't think this goes anywhere. Would you like to, though, as far as Russian collusion and tax returns are concerned, might we find some of that on Hunter Biden's tax returns?
Well, I think that's the guy that we should be looking at. I'd like to know what he made in China. I'd like to know what he made in Russia. I'd like to know what he made in the Ukraine. I'd like to know how much he made everywhere else.
Yeah.
But again, all those things, everything is meant to distract from this president, distract from Amy Coney Barrett, distract from everything that this president has accomplished while fighting the media and the left and the Democrats nonstop for 4 years. And so we'll never get around to finding out about Hunter Biden. The Hillary Clinton stuff that she did, that's been whitewashed. All this stuff is it goes away, and it's got to be aggravating to you, but it sure is aggravating to me as well.
Yeah, no, it is. It's frustrating, and I think a lot of people share that frustration. One last note, though, Congressman, we do have a debate tomorrow night. The president calling for a Joe Biden drug test, which I'm not on board with, because then they might start drug testing at this job, and then my staff, we'd have big problems. Is the president, is this gamesmanship? Is he trying to get into Biden's head? That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this president is excellent at throwing out barbs and baits that the left always take. And they're taking this one too. Oh yeah, well he's the one that should get a drug test. Well, it's just nutty. I mean, they're gonna take the bait on everything they do.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's become it really has become like a lifestyle for some people. Where, I've used this analogy before on the show, but everybody has a friend who complains about a coworker so much that you eventually realize your friend's the problem and not the coworker. Have you ever heard of that kind of situation?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the Democratic Party. They've complained about this guy so hard for so long that a lot of people who wouldn't otherwise care are starting to be like, I think these people are crazy. And I think that's where we're at, Congressman. So all I would say to you is this. It's a stellar hang. I don't think you're picking up that rock endorsement, though.
No, I'm not going to get it. And I'm happy with that. I can live with that this time.
All right. Well, as a guy who fancies himself as your radio hype man, I am going to ask around the rest of the WWE and see if I can scare up. I'll get back to you if I have any good leads, okay?
Yeah, let me know. I mean, doesn't the president have some connections there?
Yeah, they love him. He was in a WrestleMania. Come on, man. He actually had a great star turn.
Yeah, I thought I saw him throw somebody down one time.
He did. And then they repackaged it as a video of him clotheslining a CNN reporter, and it was really funny. Yes, it was.
It was funny.
People don't give him credit, man. Like stuff like that the rest of us find hilarious. He does it well. But this was a great one, man. Good hang. We got to do it again soon. Enjoy the debate, huh?
You bet.